All right. So, pertaining to my relationship with God, God said, with all the downloads that I've got, I need to start telling y'all stuff. So, number one, I'm an earth angel, and my energy is very high, right? Um, and I've got gifts and things like that. It makes me very magnetic. You know, I've been through a lot in my life, as we all, and so I told myself that I really didn't need to be on camera, right? And but that's not a part of my soul mission. So I started this page about 8 months ago, and really didn't post anything else because I was more interested in the projects that I was doing. But what I have learned in the past, I want to say 6 weeks here, I probably learned it a little earlier, but it took some time, right? I'm a Taurus, and so I can be stubborn. All right, but this is also a good thing too, because sometimes when I need to be stubborn, it works in handy, right? Get things done. Uh, but what I learned was that I needed to get in more in alignment with harmony, as far as just raising my vibration. God was suggesting that harmony was associated with giving and receiving. So receiving information and sharing information, and from that aspect, it would take me to the next level. All right, of what my soul mission here was to do. All right, and so I'm equipped with information. All right, I'm equipped with information about black magic. Right, that is probably what uh, really uh, opened my eyes, stimulated uh, my third eye in the last couple of years. Okay, um, and so as a result of understanding black magic, then I knew it was being thrown at me, and then I started learning how to transmute it. All right, I started learning how to manipulate energy. Right, I started learning that I could send energy. I started learning that I didn't have to send energy; that I could stay authentic. All right, just doing something for the collective. All right, whether it was meditation, but that it wasn't surrounded with controversy. Um, it wasn't a back and forth with my energy. Once I learned about black magic, no more than just a return to sender. It wasn't like I was going to use my energy to go after someone else once I realized I had this type of energy. And so, but anyway, getting back on topic here, uh, giving and receiving is something that God wanted me to share with you all. So I have received download after download after download pertaining to spiritual hygiene, pertaining to how to protect oneself, um, meditation, frequency, harmonics. Okay, all right. Trickster energy. All right. Uh, Five of Swords, conflict mentality. Okay, lack mindset. All right. From a matrix program. All right, I could really keep going. I've got a list here of things that I could, years ago, I went to Peru and did, and learned that I was actually a healer. So I could do Reiki healing also, pretty daggone powerful at that. But so I could clear your energy. All right. I've learned things about gratitude and just how powerful it is, letting things go. I've learned about crystals to a point where I increase my arsenal of tools. All right. So I've got, I don't know, maybe 20 different crystals and whatnot that I work with. When I ohm, I've learned the power of ohm, or maybe I relearned it, right? I've learned about grounding and how significant grounding is, right? I've learned about manifesting things and what is required for one to manifest. I've learned about meditation. Again, the Om, but there's a lot of different meditations. It could be harmonic music you're listening to, sitting quietly, or oming. There's a lot of different meditations. Anytime you quiet your mind and you sit with something, it's a form of meditation. Reading is a form of meditation. All right, nonetheless, but your mind is running. All right. So there's a lot of different meditations here. All right. Yoga. All right. Moving the energy from us so that we can release stagnant energy, right? That allow us to flow better. Okay. I have learned about my ancestors, gods, goddesses. All right. The Most High. You got it. All right. Ascended masters, angels and archangels, our ancestors. I think you just said that. And then also uh, our spirit guides. I had to learn to incorporate them into what it was I was doing. When I started reaching out to them, I started getting more and more downloads. I started feeling stuff, especially when I meditate every day. All right. I could feel a buildup. I could see an energy, a surge of energy. Okay. When calling on these great light energy beings. Okay. All right. I got to learn how to visualize. All right. Especially when meditation. And with my visualization, I got to learn how powerful that was. Okay. And that what I was actually visualizing while I was meditating was manifesting on an energetic level with the collective. All right. If you know, you know. All right. All right. Synchronicities. All right. Again, so years ago, I went to Peru. I started getting synchronicities, but they were very limited, like the 1111, things like that nature. But as I meditated and as I started transmuting all the energy and finding my balance, the synchronicities got a lot more powerful. Okay, I was literally led, or I am led, between 222, 333, 888 just started coming up more and more, 777, right? Um, you know, these types of synchronicities, taps in the walls, right? Literally, to confirm what it was I was saying, uh, indicated to me that, oh my goodness, that I had a higher awareness and that I was getting information from outside because I had done so much work inside. Okay. Uh, so this really increased my intuition. All right. So they say high priest and all of that, and I could totally understand. Okay. So yeah, I also learned how to balance the male and the feminine energy on a level that actually worked for me. Okay. Um, um, yeah, and so in order to accumulate such energy, all right, sometimes uh, I wow myself. I might even startle myself with just the amount of noise that I can create outside of myself and around me while meditating. All right, that's something you got to get used to because you're like, what the heck? But nonetheless, this is how powerful one is becoming, right? So I say all of that, all right, um, and I also learned about rituals and things like that. But I say all of that because I have a lot of energy, okay, and I have a lot of knowledge, okay, and so I can be very beneficial when it comes to raising one's frequency and when comes to awareness and when it comes to um, being aware of people who cloak themselves or that are in cults and whatnot, covenants, negative, and I say negative on purpose, practitioners. Okay. I became well versed in the shadow aspect on how your energy can be manipulated, how trickster energy can play through other people, especially when you become more aware. Because a lot of times we are locked in to a way of doing things, but once we change that and correct it and that no longer works, then folks will start trying to take manifest and create off of and or just take out a vampiric fashion your energy using other people. All right. And it might be a spirit that you keep running into, but you don't even know it's the same spirit, but they keep hitting you in the same spot. And at this point, you're triggered, you're aggravated. All right. And so I had to learn how to heal that. I had to learn, how to stay consistent with these ideals as I walk forward. And as a result, I was able to become a lot stronger. All right. And so I think at this point in my life, God just wants me to tell y'all what it is that I know. God wants me to tell y'all how I got my vibration high. All right. And so, really, uh, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to answer questions that people may have about certain situations, whether they think it's black magic, or they think that it's voodoo, or they think it's projections, or maybe they have an imbalance of something that they're doing. Or maybe you have an imbalance of something that you're doing that you don't realize might come from pain, might come from fear. How to I manifest in a way that helps me break cycles instantly because I change the pattern in the way that I do things. Okay. And also, when we all right, and we charge and we call on our energy, all right, we start to hoard so much energy. It's almost like spirits utilizing it. It's almost like you're helping your ancestors, all right, and you, all right, because it's almost like you're bringing together the past, the future, all right, and the present all together, all right, and healing all of that, healing like a huge timelines of multiple uh, incarnations that also correspond with your ancestors, okay, and what it is that they've been through, and when they were able to do things, and when they were stalled, and when they were able to move past it. It's almost like you help to become a facilitator, okay? And so this is what my energy does. This is what I do, okay? If you challenge that and you don't see God in me, I would say if you were a seer or you do tarot, pull out a deck of cards, okay, and find out for yourself, okay? I also found out how powerful my energy is, meaning that I didn't actually need to verbally hurt anyone, that my energy would do it for me if they had that karma coming. All right, if they earned that, if they were doing things and they were warned and they just didn't understand, right? Their ego got the best of them, all right, or they had an attachment, right? That they were trying to please this attachment. I realized that my energy was intertwined with uh, the universe and God, and how, once I didn't align with these ideals from a level of being able to recognize what was going on and actually do the opposite, right? Instantly, all right? That I would break those cycles, and that people would still be able to throw it. But as soon as I kept breaking it and breaking and breaking, then I was letting the universe know, like, hey, I have nothing to do with this. All right. And so then people started getting extreme karma. It taught me how people with karma, all right, often try and harness your energy in order to give you their karma. And this is what they've been doing for thousands of years. It taught me how people will do cards, right? They will play with tarot. And I understand tarot, and I mess with that too. I mean, don't get me wrong, but they will do that to try and figure out what your energy is, and then weigh on their rituals and their spells on your energy, and then see if they can affect it. Maybe put you in Five of Swords with the tarot. So how they would do that is by maybe cloaking your energy, right? I learned that I had a platform. All right, that is what helped me. Okay, all right, and I live out in the country. I'm hearing gunshots as I'm saying that, so I'm hearing confirmations. I don't know if you can hear them, but it just shows me that I'm on par. But the cloaking of one energy, all right, is something that is an active intertwine of someone throwing magic in your energy, and you, whether you know it or not, kind of corresponding, or maybe you're opening up thoughts in your head. Um, maybe you are adopting certain thoughts, whether it be jealousy, envy, or maybe aggravation. I realized that those were projections. They were not my energy. So then I was able to see how people would try to have me gravitate to those thoughts as a connection, kind of like a trauma bond, right? Where there's an energetic cord between two people. And now they can manipulate on this end, and whether this person knows it or not, they're being manipulated from the trauma. It could be a car accident. It could be somebody that did something hateful to you, all right, in order to try and make you feel depleted. Okay, it could trauma bonds often can exist in families, right? Where there's a controversy between children and the mother and the father, whether the father's playing games with the child or whether the mother's the parent that is affected. It creates a trauma bond, and with that, you can do black magic in order to pull on that bond. You know, a lot of dads are like, "She won't let me see the kids." I'm just using that reference as an example. All right. It could be that a female saying, "Yo," you know, the same thing. Okay. But as a result, when a other person feels unsettled, they feel unsettled because someone else was a result of that. That right there is the trauma bond. That is them pulling on your energy to pull you into despair. Okay. That right there is, I would call, is a vampiric energy. You know, people who are doing divination in a negative way, who understand that they can make someone feel like that. That is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm good at addressing. That is what I'm good at breaking apart, right? Into fragments, because that ain't nothing but a bunch of fragmented energy anyway. All right. I became well versed in how to take situations like that and make the best out of it. I understood and I learned that it may not be what I'm thinking right now in this moment, and how my perspective needed to change so that I could change and see and learn from that perspective, from that vantage point, versus what it is that I'm sitting in, or what it is that I'm sitting in and what my ego feels about it. All right. So a lot of folks, you know, are not really awake like that, right? Um, they're not really alert. It's not that it's their fault either. Okay, this is just knowledge, and knowledge is power. And when cults and people that do practitioner work or whatever, when they understand energy, they're playing on your energy, but you're just looking at the five senses, right? And you don't know that you're an energy field, right? And so then they can manipulate your energy. And this is what's been going on. It's not just, you know, a baby mamas or baby dads or just practitioners in general. It's whole governments behind controlling your energy. Okay. In order for you to stay in a docile state, right? Like in a Jewish camp, right? All right. So they don't want you to have a higher perspective. So, you know, I became well versed to distractions, right? And how when I was staying in alignment and focused, then things would start transpiring out of control. And then when I would calmly address it, an individual, they wouldn't even know what was going on. It was crazy. It was almost like I was outside of the matrix, and I made the person that was acting, you know, a certain way because they didn't realize it. They were just kind of going through the motions. I made them take a second look, you know, at what was actually happening, and every step by step, every frame that has happened up until that second, because that is the expansion of consciousness, being able to analyze from different perspectives. So I say that to say this: I have a plethora of knowledge, all right, pertaining to spiritual understanding, enlightenment, clearing your energy. A lot of these things I already mentioned. All right. And so if you have some questions about how to raise your frequency, all right, about anything really pertaining to spirituality, I'm pretty sure I could take a go at it. All right. A lot of folks are uh, going to want to do research and are going to want to suggest, well, you know, this philosopher said this and this. You can tell me what you say, and then I can give you my best understanding of energy and the way it works. All right. I could tell you one philosopher, Nikola Tesla, said energy and frequency and vibration was the secret of the universe. All right. I think he said secret on purpose because it was a secret. All right. And so that is one philosopher that I resonate with when it comes to understanding how we all, as a collective, resonate on earth and with spirit, as above and so below, and the macro and in the micro. All right. An energy perspective that will be able to help you, all right, navigate in a more awakened state. All right, so drop a comment down below in the comment box, obviously. All right, it's just gonna be, I'm bumbling over my words, but whatever, you know what I mean. This is something that God wants me to come on here, and something that I want to do, something that I've been good at, but something that I told myself I didn't necessarily need to do, but that was a lack mindset. Okay, all right, and so I do have this knowledge. I see a lot of folks that resonate with me, and they're tarot card readers, they're seers, okay? They're inspirational speakers. And they say, like, who are you? And when I try not to think, oh, they're talking about me, right? But I do resonate with a lot that they say. All right. I resonate with the ancient DNA. I resonate with the Egyptian. I resonate. This is Lemuria. All right. This is an Ankh, nonetheless. This is the Eye of Horus. All right. This is Lemuria. All right. I resonate with my ancestors and Egyptians. All right. I on my father's side, it was a pharaoh, Ramesses III. All right. When I took a DNA test. All right. So, yeah, the ability to see energy spiraling out of control, right? And to be able to catch it instantly and then do something different. All right. You know, that aspect is what I innately thrive in. All right. So drop a comment down there on something that you want me to talk about, and I'm going to do my best to deliver. All right. I also channel too. So I write down notes, and then sometimes I'll just channel with spirit what I feel like spirit is telling me. It may not come out as clear. All right. But then that's what we're working on. Spirit said, I'm preparing you. So I guess they want me to be able to speak a little bit better than I can. I believe, honestly. Spirit wants me to just tell you certain things, all right, because of these downloads that I get is information that I think the collective needs to know. I also have a regiment. Okay, if you want to know about the regiment, I'm not going to speak on that, but if you want to know about what my spiritual regiment is in order to increase my vibration and to have developed and built and transmuted all of this energy, all right, to take me to this point, then I can do a video on that also. Until next time, I'm Dion from Divine Timing, all right? I'm sending you peace, love, and light, and Ashe.